Hi, my name is Hannah Sturtevant. I own Supernatural Brows. I'm a licensed body art artist here in Las Vegas, and I also have my Master Aesthetics license.
Nice. I didn't know the aesthetics part.
I do,
Cool.
and in Nevada, I think it transfers to an advanced, is what it's called.
Probably.
But in Washington State, it's master. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, I'm Mylynda. I own Brow Engel, and I do permanent makeup and a little bit of body art as well. Mostly brows and lips, though. Yeah, that's me.
Did you know for the longest time I thought that your business name was actually Brow Angel?
It means angel in German and Swedish, so it's just pronounced Engel in the languages.
Yeah.
So, and it's my married last name.
Okay, cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I like
so
it.
it's not wrong. So, and
Okay.
I've been marketing and using it as Angel now. Because
I
everyone
think
thinks it's
cute.
Angel. So I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, it works. Everything
It
works.
does work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that. All right, so we got a couple questions that we would love to answer together. I guess I'll ask the first question.
Okay.
So, what was your profession before permanent makeup?
So many things. Being from Vegas, I mean, industry, I've cocktailed,
Nice.
I used to promo model like conventions and
Clearly,
like the
yes,
nightclubs. And like, honestly, it's so boring though. Like, I hate going out. I'm
Yeah.
actually super introverted. Like, I'm so
Yeah.
not, like, I just want to drink wine and stay home.
Yeah,
I don't want
watch
to,
Dateline.
I don't want to do anything. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so all that, but starting at 18, I worked in tattoo shops, piercing shops, like Hart Huntington, Precious Sluts, like juggled shops. So, but I was always never thought to tattoo until
Right.
I think it was like 23 when the interest sparked
Yeah.
in PMU. Yeah.
Same. I was 23 too.
Were you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I had
shit.
just turned 23.
Yeah.
I was a makeup artist for a long time, and then I went back to school to get to just be licensed because makeup artistry wasn't licensed in Washington State. And I ended up getting I wanted to go to school to do laser tattoo removal, so I went to school to do that. And the day that the girls and I graduated, we actually, I think it was like maybe the day after, we drove up to a small town in maybe near Vancouver, BC, because I was in Seattle, and we took a microblading class. And I didn't even know what microblading was. I had no idea.
Right.
And I show up, and I felt as though I was pretty good at it.
What year was that? Do you remember?
2016.
Okay.
I think that's when everybody started really.
Yeah, mine was in
Yeah.
2017, my
Yeah.
first course. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And I just kind of stuck with it and really enjoyed it. Thought I was pretty good at it. Now looking back, we probably should have practiced more, but that's how we get better. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, back when we learned, no trainer knew what they were doing yet. Nobody.
And
No
everybody
trainer.
was microblading everybody. So we didn't
Yeah.
really learn like who not to microblade. I know in my class
Mm-hmm.
we didn't learn any color theory. We were told to go twice as dark.
Yeah. We were all botching people
was
basically
so bad. It was so bad.
in 2016 and 2017. And now we're having to correct all those type of clients.
Right. Well, now we see
Yeah.
how microblading ages, so we get to see a little bit better on what kind of treatments we should do for new clients who come in who maybe aren't suited for microblading.
Yeah.
Yeah. Way better.
Microblading is the least majority of my clients for sure.
Yeah. I would say out of everybody that books microblading, maybe about 20% of those clients can actually have it.
Yeah. I'm always like, I'm machine queen. Machine.
It just
like,
it ages so beautifully.
yeah.
Heals really easy.
It's just better. Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. I want to ask you one.
I'm nervous.
How do you know if you're going too deep into the skin?
Oh, a couple different I guess it depends on the method. So back to microblading. If you're going too deep, if you think you're going too deep, you're probably going too deep. Right away, I work so lightly. I barely cut through the skin because we're going into the papillary dermis. So reticular dermis is where you're going to see more bleeding. You're going to see the ink turn immediately pretty ashy, if not like kind of like black toned. As for machine work, I mean, it's pretty similar in that sense where the color all of a sudden looks kind of ashed out, pretty almost even like blue. And it's been a long time since I've seen fresh work that is too deep. Even for my students, I don't really see it too often. I just always say, when in doubt, go light. Apply that ultra duration. You'll be able to see that little halo around your eyebrow. If the color still looks light, you can go and do another pass. But if the color's looking light, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to press harder. Maybe you just need to work slower.
Yeah. Sometimes when you just let it bask in numbing, step aside, and then the color will rise up a little bit, and you might be like, oh, I'm almost done. Instead of, I made that mistake when I was a beginner. I was overworking the skin, and all my brows were coming out too dark. Because, again, we had to troubleshoot everything with the horrible trainings that I had. So, yeah, and I always tell a student, like, if you see a pool of blood, you just botched somebody.
Well, a
too
pool
deep.
Of blood is, like, horrifying
back
to think
when,
about.
like, the thing, too, like, microblading, if the gauge is big and they're too deep, right away it's just going to, like, pool. And
That's
you
true.
better stop what the hell you're doing, numb, and then leave that area alone.
Yeah.
And then adjust and go really, really light.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always feel like machine sounds like a kitten scratch. So I use that term. Kind of like a little kitty scratch.
Yeah.
That's how, like, we just want the, like, tip of the needle in there.
Yes.
And then just the tip. Just the tip. and the microblading, most skin types you'll hear like that little Velcro.
You know what? I used to be really hardcore about that.
Yeah, not all skin.
And when I used to use different blades, I would always hear that kind of like Velcro sound. And then I started using sharper blades, and I didn't hear it as much. Yeah. So I'm not really like a stickler for you have to hear.
Yeah, it's just
Velcro
I feel like
sound
the drier
anymore.
skin, you do
For
hear
sure,
it.
yeah.
But then when you get into melanin-rich skin, you're not going to hear it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Understandable. All right. Oh, I love this one. What will the future of PMU look like to you?
To me,
Yeah. Maybe like even just the industry or just you yourself. Like, where do you see your services in the next few years?
I mean, I think my services will stay the same. Lips are my favorite.
Yeah.
Like,
You're so good at them.
I love lips, and I definitely will launch online courses. I'm not going to lie, I've been filming stuff for them for like 2 years. And
It's a long time.
I'm
Let's
so
see it.
picky. I'm
feel you.
so picky.
I feel you. Yeah.
And I, like 2 years, like over a year and a half ago, I like would write on IG, like, I'm going to launch this soon. And like 2 years later, and I feel like people are so sick of me,
Time
but
flies.
I, like, I'm so picky.
Yeah.
And I even...
It's
I don't know.
nerve-wracking. It's
It's
nerve-wracking
it's-
because
it's-
everybody sees it. You know, people buy it,
Yeah.
see it, and I totally get that.
I love training in person. Like, I'm very, like, hands-on deck, you know? So, like, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
But I do want to launch some, like, a few free stuff, just
Yeah.
like how to choose
Agreed.
colors. And because girls don't really learn that in the most courses they take, you know?
agree. Yeah.
And then, yeah, lots of lip stuff for sure. Like, my ombre lips is definitely, like, my signature technique. Like, no one taught me that. Like, I made that. So that's definitely going to be a course in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love doing online stuff, especially for my in-person students. So it kind of goes hand in hand. So even after they graduate, they can still, for life, refer back to the online.
Yeah.
And I do like it a little bit better than handbooks, although some students have asked for handbooks. But I love an online course. It's just a little bit easier. You
Yeah.
just log in and read through. You can see the videos. Yeah. Highly recommend. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I even have an account, trust. I've been, like, kind of making it, but
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm all over the place because I want to launch everything at once. I'm like, I can do mapping, ombre lips, normal lips, how to color theory, all the
Yeah.
things, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like I have a list of 20 courses I can make. It's just
Absolutely.
when it's a Taurus brain. When do I start? I want to do it all, like right now, you know?
Understandable.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. What about you?
What was the question again? Let's see here.
Where do you see yourself?
Oh, where do I see myself?
Yeah.
Working less. That's the goal.
Working less.
Yeah, I work so much, and like
Yeah.
after having a son, it's been really eye-opening to go home at the end of the day and have to mentally log out. You know.
Yeah.
We're doing a major change right now where my lease for my shop is coming to an end, and it is, essentially a permanent makeup shop, coming to an end. We are opening up a full-blown tattoo shop. So we're very excited. We're doing renovations right now, and it is going to be more geared towards body art, conventional tattooing, and less permanent makeup. So I'll be the only permanent makeup artist in there, and I'll have my own room.
Yeah.
But working less. My trainings, I love training. I want to hone in a little bit and do even more intimate trainings. But yeah, overall, work less, do better work, produce great students. My students right now, they're doing great, so I couldn't ask for more, but the workload is a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think like one of the main things, especially opening up a shop, is to, have a great rapport with the artists who work for us. And so with that, when we have kind of like a family of tattooers, it's less on Jarrell and I, and it's more of like a family shop.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I love that.
we're pretty excited for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go. Grand opening?
Hell yeah.
Okay. I'm
Flash
coming.
event? Yeah. We're
I'm
gonna
coming.
get crazy.
I'll
It'll be
get
fun.
something tattooed.
And it's 2 blocks from Fremont Street.
Oh, cool.
Time to party. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Very excited.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. People are going to come in and be like, can I take a shot and get a tattoo?
Yeah. Don't let us see you taking a shot, but yeah, it happens. Yeah, for
it
sure.
Might happen.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, that's what my
Do you guys
future-
have a name?
We do.
Is it secret? It's
I don't
secret.
think it's like secret, but I'm afraid that we'll have to change it. So I'll save it. We've already had to change it once.
Due to like copyright or?
No. Tell me how this happened. I was looking at other shops with the same name, and I found a very popular one. And funny enough, Jarrell followed them. And he didn't realize that they had the same shop name that we wanted.
Damn.
So it didn't work out, but that's okay. I love our new shop name.
Okay.
But yeah, we don't want to be copying
Yeah.
anybody's names.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of supernatural
there's
brass
a
out
lot
there.
of angels out there.
Yeah,
Just
so funny.
spelled differently. You can't take mine. I'm
So,
registered.
as for like the whole of the industry, the one thing that I do see permanent makeup industry changing as a whole in the future, I see a lot more machine work. I see a lot more potential students being picky about their trainers. I see a lot less scammy behavior because people are starting to speak up. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've been seeing a lot of that online.
Oh, I saw that post yesterday. Dang.
Yeah.
No comment. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Training has its ups and downs for sure.
For sure.
I haven't trained in like months. I think just I needed a mental break.
100%.
Yeah.
It takes a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not able to do it as often as I
And it
used
works
to.
both ways. I see students like not even just mine in general, worldwide, they'll, you're always going to have complainers. You're always going to have Karen. Doesn't matter if you're like the best trainer in the
clients,
world.
yeah. Yes. And it goes
Yeah.
to like hand in hand, as long as the trainer is providing
Yeah.
everything that we can do to ensure success. I mean, that's all we can. We cannot teach integrity. We can't teach
make you a boss bitch.
We can't make you practice every single
Yeah.
night. That kind of, it's up to what you want to get out of the training for
Yeah.
sure. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
Yeah, where I always see online students whining about their trainings, but it's kind of like
And you know what? I used to do
ask
that
for
too.
their curriculum,
Fair.
ask for how many trainings they've taken. You can even ask for their certificates, photos, like receipts, show receipts. And if you don't like that, then don't train with them, and then you have less to cry about. You know what I mean? It works. So there are crappy trainings, but there are very needy students. So I think it's a direct 50-50.
I love a needy student. I'll tell you.
It's a
I love a
direct
needy
50-50.
student. When somebody's emailing me constantly after training because they got more questions, please do that. I love it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
makes me feel
I
like
don't
you
mean
care.
needy. I mean complaining.
Sure,
you know?
sure.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
I used to be after my first class.
Yeah.
I was pissed.
Yeah.
A little bit rightfully so.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah,
I kind of take a look and see where I'm at right now, and can I really complain? No.
Yeah.
So, it definitely had its place. And if I didn't have that training, I wouldn't have the ability to troubleshoot my work and
Right.
get to kind of expanding on my own.
right.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of crappy trainings too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Where
think
I'm
I only
like,
had, like,
where I'm
2
like,
questionable
what
ones.
gauge do you use? And they're like, huh? A 1RL. Oh, 1RL. I'm like, okay, yeah, but what size? 1RL. I'm like, no. That's not how this works. Yeah. There's some really bad training out there, and I guess I just never complained about them because I'm like not like that.
Yeah, I don't want to
But
complain.
I definitely half of the trainings I've taken were not so great. Yeah.
On the subject of trainings, I do want to get a shout out because I took her recently, like a really good training online. Natalia Yermenko, her nano course.
I haven't heard of her. Really?
Amazing.
I haven't heard of her.
Amazing.
I'm gonna need to follow.
The W brows, the online one.
I haven't heard.
Fantastic. I had a great experience.
Yeah, I say always train. Never stop learning.
Oh, I tell
for sure.
everybody, even my beginner
stop.
students, I'm like, you're going to take my class. It's
Yeah.
not going to be your last class. Then there's always like, students in my class who have taken previous courses. And of course, it's not their first class.
Right.
I'm like 7 years in, I'm still taking classes.
Yeah.
Because you have to grow with the industry 100%.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the last one I took was like about a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely like try the one you just took.
The nano. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was really good. It was
I might
really
have
good.
to do
And it's
that.
at your own pace, so with me and like you too, like you're so busy. So
Yeah.
makes it a little bit
We're
easier.
both moms.
Yeah.
We're both full time.
Yeah.
And we're both solo. Yeah, you do all your own stuff, right?
I do.
Same.
I wish. I do have my mom respond to emails sometimes.
Oh.
But I don't.
I
have
wish
like a
I don't have
full-blown
that.
assistant.
Yeah, no, I don't have that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried before, and I just had her do nothing, and I was like, never mind. This isn't
I feel
for me.
guilty because I don't 100% trust.
Yeah,
I'm
me
like, how do I
either.
know you're going to spell everything right? How do I know you're going to use the right grammar? How
Yeah.
do I know you're going to be polite?
Right.
I just worry. I just want to make sure, even if the client's being kind of nasty, like just be like, hey, so sorry that happened. I just need
Yeah.
that energy. But
Yeah,
right now I'm doing it all. Yeah.
yeah. Same.
So
it's draining, but we
definitely
got it.
could be.
We got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Okay, whose turn?
I think it's your turn.
Okay. Do you recommend small business loans?
I've never taken out a small business loan.
Me either.
Yeah, I did out of pocket for a lot of renovations at my current shop right now. I in this economy, I would be a little bit nervous to do that. Not saying that I'm knocking it. I am thinking about getting a small business loan for our current shop or our future shop for renovations and equipment and stuff like that. And that would be,
Everything's up, so I'm not opposed if you can afford that payment.
not opposed to it. You just want to make sure that you are not a brand new artist. You're going to take out like a $50,000 loan and then not be able
To pay it back.
to afford it. So you just really want to be careful. I would recommend, work humbly for a few months, if not like a year, even if you're just subleasing from somebody in like a salon. Build up your clientele, and then from there you'll be able to tell if this is really going to be like the right career move for you before you take a small business loan out.
Yeah.
It's pretty hardcore on your credit. Interest rates, I heard, are not great.
Oh my God. So bad.
So-
We're all like, no. Yeah.
Do what you're going to do.
Yeah.
I've heard of a lot of really fantastic artists who have out of pocket renovated their shops, paid for their equipment,
Yeah.
and that's kind of like the goal. Of course, sometimes it's not feasible. So I'm not going to say no, but it depends on the situation for sure.
Yeah. 100% agree. I don't have to re-answer. I agree.
It's a tricky one. Yeah. All right. My question, let's see here. After PMU is healed, can you use tretinoin? Tretinoin is also retinol. What else do they call it? Vitamin A?
I just go by retinol.
Sure.
But yeah, all
Yeah.
those terms.
Yeah.
I tell my clients pre-care and aftercare, do not touch it for 6 months. So like if they walk in and they're like, I use retinol, I'm like, okay, honey, I cannot tattoo you. It's just going to fall right out of your skin or just turn crazy colors or something. People think retinol stays like where you put it, but it actually travels in your skin and messes things up. And I know you have another opinion on that.
Yeah. Okay. So myth number one that I see all the time is, if you apply Aquaphor to your brow and then you apply retinol
won't go
around
in it?
it won't go in it.
Oh,
That is
no.
not true because
No.
retinol, master esthetician here, retinol has cellular communication. Even after you are done healing, it could be like a year or so, you put retinol anywhere up here, what's going to happen is it's going to travel through your skin to your brows. It's going to cause any hair strokes that you have to blur and discolor. But the ink, again, with the discoloration,
Yeah.
I've seen purple, I've seen blue. At that point, I can't even do a touch-up, so you're just going to need to have removal.
Purple brows are that one color I will not even
Super
try.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Me being the world's worst client, I'll do my own eyebrows. I just do like a powder very lightly. Not great. And I use retinol every night.
Your brows are great. Stop.
Well, I wear makeup on them, so I go so light. But again, like I use so much retinol, so I'm a bad client. Do I need a little bit of laser? Probably.
I don't use retinol.
Your skin looks so good for not using retinol.
Don't. Just I've used Elastin the last 2 years for the wash and the lotion, and I get so many
I've
skin
heard of
compliments.
that. I feel like I was
just
using that
switched because I got
pregnant.
like a whole bag of stuff. Totally forget the name. I can text it to you. But
Your skin looks so
Elastin,
good.
I swear by Elastin. Like, and then I get Dysport twice a year. That's it. Facial wise, I'll only do like a hydra or a peel. That's it. Nothing invasive.
I love a good Botox. Yeah, lip filler.
Yeah.
Big fan. Yeah. Cool.
Yes, girl.
All right. Okay, so my turn. How did you build clientele when you first began?
We all have to go through and do those models. We all gotta do
that's
model
true.
calls.
Oh, sure.
It's Vegas, so we wanna. Honestly, I feel like the girls that bring in the best clientele are your girls with like 3,000 followers. They actually know more people than your girls with 3 million. Personally, yeah, no, that's a fact. But you just want social girls, do a few models, and just have them promote you, like cross promote, and that's how I built. And then I want to say like year 2, I started doing like a monthly giveaway. It was a lot,
Yeah.
but that definitely built a lot of clients. So even now still I have a whole load of clients that are regular clients and book, but then I have a whole load of clients that wait for me to need models.
Yeah.
So it works out.
Right.
That's how I built. I built everything on Instagram. I'm not a word of mouth girl. Like my word of mouth is like 10%, but my IG is like 90% of my clients. Everyone that comes in, I'm like, where'd you find me? And they're like, Instagram or a hashtag or someone shared your Instagram. And
Yeah.
I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if it wasn't for IG, I don't know.
When did you start your Brow Engel Instagram? Probably around the time you first trained.
Not when I first trained.
really?
Because I was like, you have a little like scared of putting stuff out.
Sure. Yeah.
So maybe like a year after that. And then
Yeah.
I used to be Rain Brows. I had a whole different like brand at first. And then
really?
everyone thought my name was Rain. So I got really annoyed. And I was like, this isn't the one. This isn't the one I'm trademarking. This is not it. Even still, sometimes I'll like see someone out and they'll be like, you're Rain Brows. And I'm like, no, I'm not Rain Brows. It's not me anymore. So I went through waves.
Yeah.
But it's definitely stuck. It's not really growing anymore, sadly, just because I used to use hashtags such as like Kardashians and stuff, and that actually like shadow bans you. Even though they say
Really?
shadow banning is like fake, but no, it's real.
I believe that it's real.
There's a whole, you can literally Google blacklisted hashtags, and there's a huge list.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so things like Kylie Jenner or Kardashians or any like thing that's highly up or
Right.
big brands, like
Yeah.
you can't do that. And I feel like my account's kind of been stuck since then. I still have flow though, so I'm not like, oh, I need to make like a whole new account. It's
Yeah.
not that deep.
Yeah.
But it is frustrating because how much I put into my account, I should be at like 70K by now, I feel like, or at least over like 50. But it's just IG's not the same, So
Yeah,
there's
the
not like,
algorithm changes often.
it's so bad. The hashtag thing is just one of the things. There's
Yeah.
so many. Like I could make a booklet, maybe I should, on just IG. You can't even like if you post something and then you delete it and then repost it the same day, hurts your algorithm. You can't do that.
Oh, wow.
If there's cuss words and like
Yeah. I believe
you
that.
can't do that.
Yeah. I try not to cuss on my.
Yeah, if you edit your captions,
I do know that. That is true. And
Yeah.
that's a bummer because I don't even proofread. So now I have to like slow down and make
know.
sure. Yeah.
And like, yeah, you just got to be really careful. And a lot of things I used to do definitely hurt my account. So I feel like
Really?
IG thinks I might be a bot. I don't really know. But it's fine. We're still here. It's fine. I'm not crying over, like, I have 33K still. But who knows? It might grow again, or it might just be stuck.
Do you do ads on Instagram?
I did for a while. I don't have an ads account right now anymore because I closed that car and I have a new car, so I didn't go in and like reconnect anything.
Sure.
So no, I haven't ran an ad in a minute. It did help circulate like likes and stuff. I don't really feel like it was bringing me client flow.
It's not an immediate boost.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
For a minute, I was getting a lot of like Ohio and Idaho fly-in students, and I think that was to do with ads. I don't know why, but that was like the region that was coming out to me.
Interesting. You can change the region too.
Right, but I didn't even put in that region, so I was like,
my favorite way to do it, you were probably doing it the same way, where it's boost to people who like similar accounts that already follow you. I love that one. That's the one that I do too.
Really, yeah, and I also heard to always target women only in PMU.
Maybe.
It's best to target the women, and then from like 18 to like 45 or 40 or whatever, and that's gonna.
Yeah, I'll do 18 to 65.
Yeah,
you come on over to me.
Right. Yeah. No, I'll tattoo you. I'm talking more for like students and trainings.
Oh,
and stuff.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll tattoo any skin type.
Yeah.
The girls that are like, I won't tattoo over 40. That's just kind of weird.
Do people say that?
Yeah, like 40 or 50.
Oh wow.
Or like even some people will only take a model from like 18 to like.
Oh, I've seen that.
25, which
for like if you're filming online, sure. I specifically for my most recent filming, I really wanted to get more mature skin, so I specifically sought out an older woman, and it was great. I mean, it was really good, like to show my students too, because like there's a little bit of a reaction in there too. Yeah. It happens.
I love mature skin. I personally find that a tattoo's easier.
Yeah,
like,
and they're the happiest
clients. Like 20 minutes. Yeah, and they're the happiest clients. They're the ones crying in your arms, like, oh my God, like, I love this so much. Like, they just, I love my mature skin, 100%.
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah. What was this again?
I think, no, it's my turn.
Okay, go ahead.
This one, worded a little differently. Did you use a script when you first started taking clients to help remember facts? I think they mean, did you study your notes from trainings while you were taking clients?
That word is actually used a lot in like salons for hairstylists. So when your client sits down, you have like a script that you follow, because sometimes people can be a little socially awkward.
Yeah.
At first, I was definitely socially awkward. Still am a little bit. But I am so well versed in my career and my industry that I'm able to like have a normal conversation. Using my basic script for when clients come in is, have you ever had your eyebrows tattooed before? Now, I ask them this before they even come in, so I want to make sure. But sometimes a lot of people will be like, well, yeah, I had them microbladed, but they weren't tattooed. It's the same thing. So I always just like to ask them, just reiterate, you never had them tattooed. I do have clients that fib and say that they've never had their brows tattooed.
I've had the fibbers.
See that. Yeah. I do ask them, like, do you have any tattoos? Like, how was your healing with that? You know, I go over their paperwork, see if they're on any medications. My biggest thing is I want to see how they normally do their brow makeup so I can get a good idea of what they're looking for. I also ask them for some brow, like, inspiration photos, and it has to be work that I've done. If you're showing me work from another artist, you know, that charges like $3,000 per client, and you want your brows to look exactly like that, you're going to need to go to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But those are the main things that I ask for. I just want to make sure that we're on par with their expectations. I also go over the aftercare. I send it to their email, but I read everything off to them.
Yeah.
Including like what to expect, because since I've been doing that, nobody, for the most part, there's always one, maybe like one every few months.
Yeah.
Nobody really panics anymore. Like they do, I do feel like they trust me, you know, when I tell them exactly what's going to happen. I tell them it is a 2-step process right out the gate, so that way they don't heal and they're like, why am I missing a hair stroke? Yeah. You know? So I always like to make sure they fully understand what's about to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What about you?
Yeah, no, I never had a script.
Yeah.
I'm very introverted. I'm pretty quiet in person, but when I'm like one-on-one, like I'm a talker. So no, I just no. Yeah, definitely.
While I'm working, I will say, because maybe they're thinking about like the awkward silence of while you're working and the client's also quiet. I don't really talk during the service.
Same, yeah.
Because if a client's moving their face too much, it causes
right,
issues.
right.
Not that I don't want to hear what they're saying.
I very much voice like I need you, like Sleeping Beauty is my favorite term. And if you're not, if you can move me, and if you move me, well, you're moving that needle too.
Yeah.
Especially in lip blush.
Oh yeah.
Because the jaw's gotta be closed. And like
talking.
like they'll try to, and I'm like, no, because you know when you put on lipstick, you want to be like, but like, so they think they need to like open their lips.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like it's gotta be closed or you're gonna move me. So
Yeah.
I there's things I repeat. Like
For
I have
sure.
a script in my brain. Like I'm like, please just Sleeping Beauty for me. So like, all that first 15 minutes, like ask me all your questions. And then Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always make sure I don't start the service until they see the outline, they approve of the outline.
Yeah.
And they see the
Predraw.
color and they approve of the color.
Yeah,
No
that too.
surprises. Yeah.
Yeah,
So it gives
all of
everybody
that.
ample opportunity to change anything, voice their concerns. Yeah, that's
All
a big
of that.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I remember in the past, like I would have people be like, this isn't the shape I agreed to. And I'm like, no, I literally show you the pre-draw.
That's so scary.
Like, I showed you the pre-draw.
Yeah.
And then you approve it.
Yeah.
I've known like beginners to like take a picture of their client's pre-draw with the client's thumbing up. Isn't that funny?
I've done that
I love
within
that.
the past
I
2 years.
love
I've done
that.
that
I love
because
that.
for clients where I'm getting a few red flags, or maybe it's taking me a very long time to brow map. If it takes longer than an hour for me to brow map you, we're not doing the service because it makes
Right.
me feel like you're just not trusting me, ready for a permanent tattoo on your face. So it's just better in the long run. Like, let's just hold off.
Yeah. I've
You
done that
know?
too.
Yeah. But yeah, the thumbs up, I've done that.
I
Especially
love
for
that.
clients who are
I
like,
never have, but I just love the idea. So if that person came to you and was like, no, I didn't like this, you can just send them the photo of themselves.
I have
thumbs up.
it in my paperwork too.
Yeah.
Where it says like,
Oh, yeah, you
I
have to consent, yeah.
approved the shape and the color, and Hannah has given me the opportunity to change anything.
Yeah.
Got it in there because you never know.
Right.
Sometimes people do just like have like a regret, and at that point, as long as I did everything by the book, there's nothing really I can do for you.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer, but at the same time, it's pretty rare. And when clients start showing those signs of being super nervous, that's where I'm going to go ahead and let's wait.
I feel like it's usually the younger gen, like 21.
Really?
They're just not, they just don't know what they want yet in life.
Maybe,
So how do
yeah.
they know what they want on their face? I like doing like 23, 25 and up. I will still tattoo you if you're 18, but
18's
if
hard for me,
over
yeah.
21, you know more what you want on your face permanently. I feel like, because I got my brows when I was 19 and I did not know what I wanted. So I will say that for myself. So yeah.
Was it my turn to ask a question?
I think, yeah. We were on the script one.
3 most important things new artists should do after training and getting licensed.
After training and getting licensed? So are we talking...
In most states, you can just take a training and get licensed. I think, obviously here you have to take an apprenticeship.
Yeah, Nevada, you need a 6-month apprenticeship. You need bloodborne, and then it depends what county lines you're on. Like, I'm in Clark County, so I needed to be scoped by also the fire department, which I didn't know when I was a beginner.
That's for your shop. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So, I mean, what do we mean? 3 most important things, like not to open your business?
I think getting ready to open up your business, or even if you're just getting ready to take clients.
Yeah. I mean, getting ready to take clients, that's kind of where, like, I feel like I come back to the cross promotion and, like, models and stuff.
Yeah.
To build, to start posting, to make an account, to make, like...
Social media presence.
Social media
100%.
presence, for sure. Branding yourself. And even on my apprentices, I'm always like, post. I don't care if it's a selfie or your coffee, or you have to stay relevant. So my favorite word in marketing is to be annoying. If I'm not seeing you every day, nobody is. Nobody. Like, think McDonald's Kardashians. You see it every 5 seconds, and I need to be seen every 5 seconds. Like, you just have to be relevant, you know? I'm sure you see my story every day. Like, I'm annoying. I will say I'm annoying online, but that's why I'm booked, okay? Like, it's... And again, and also, if you have a current Instagram, because of the algorithm, whatever you have, 500 followers, 5,000, you need to make that now your business Instagram. And then create a new little personal one.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that your new model or client looks like, oh, she already has 500 whatever followers. She might be doing great.
Right.
And I don't want it to be like a cheat, but because of algorithm, it's just kind of a need now to start to build. Half of my apprentices listen to me, half don't. The ones that do better. Like off the bat. Yeah. So that's super big. I mean, at least because I was all on IG. So like the first 3 things I would say, marketing, have your establishment like ready to go. Don't just be like working under someone that you don't know if they're not licensed. That's a big one.
Whoa.
You know, like
how often do you think that happens?
Well,
People
not
working
even
under-
not licensed.
Yeah.
I feel like in Vegas a lot probably
Really?
because there's a lot of artists that surf too, that do like they like work in Utah and Vegas and Arizona.
Understandable.
And then they
Yeah.
just have like a 2-door salon out here, and then they juggle apprentices through it.
Oh,
The
you know
apprentices
what?
aren't like there's so many of those.
I could think of
Just
a few
don't-
names. Okay, sure. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear
just
you.
don't be. Just that's a. I guess it's not a top 3 thing to do, but it's a not to do.
Yeah.
Just make sure you're in somewhere where you feel like you can actually grow and learn, and you're not stuck. If you feel stuck, you need to change something around.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What about you? What's a tip for you?
Number 1, get insured. 100%.
Insurance,
Get
yeah.
insured so quickly, especially before you start taking clients. Just get insured.
Who do you use?
PBIB.
Same.
Yeah.
Same.
They're like the hot new thing, you know. Everybody. I used to use.
feel like-
Who was I using? Kim Zem.
I've always been on PPAB.
Really?
Yeah.
I recently had to switch.
And
Love
I've-
them.
I've
Very
been
easy.
on them forever, so
Yeah.
they've been around. I think they're just more so put out there on Facebook now.
I see. That's where I found out about them was in one of the permanent makeup groups. Yeah. No, they're great.
Yeah, I couldn't find any Las Vegas-based company when I started,
Yeah.
which is weird because
I mean,
look at all the
I don't
tattoo
really-
shops out here, you know, and then I couldn't find like a permanent makeup one, but then
Yeah.
I found the
PBAB
Cali
is
one.
great.
Yeah.
Another thing, so let's see here, right back to 3 most important things new artists should do after training and getting licensed. Being insured, continuing your training. So that training that you took to start taking clients is not going to be the last training that you should take.
Yeah.
So continuing training. I'm gonna say this, and you have had a great experience with it. I do not do services in exchange for posts from like influencers. I just don't do it.
Yeah, no big influencers. It's
I don't
more
do it.
your small town girls.
Small town girls, big fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if somebody's like, hey, like I am a YouTube influencer.
Oh yeah,
or
no,
so-and-so,
I don't let girls come to me. I choose.
That's a
who
good way to do it.
I want
And you know
in my portfolio.
who would be a really good just I guess a clientele like that too is like hairstylists.
Yeah.
Girls who do nails.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Girls who do lashes. So whenever I am posting on Instagram, my hashtags are typically going to be Vegas nails, Vegas lashes, because if somebody's looking for lashes,
Smart.
Ooh, now they see some good brows.
Smart.
Yeah, and maybe they want to get their brows done in the near future. I do Las Vegas tattoos. I mean, you name it, you can kind of tailor that to your own location. But I think I've had pretty good success with that.
Yeah. That's good. I'm also usually hashtagging services that cost around the same amount of money. So lip filler,
Yeah,
Filler.
that's a great idea.
filler and plastic surgery and Botox. And so I use all those hashtags because I like to compare my pricing to a filler technician.
Yeah, it's a luxury service. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So I'm always hashtagging the medical stuff. But
That's a great idea.
That's smart too, though. Like
Yeah.
hair is expensive. I've spent thousands on my hair.
Oh
So.
my God, I have a hair story, but I'll save it for later.
Oh, no.
It looked great. I
Your hair
didn't
looks
realize
really
the
good.
price. Well, this was what I'm talking about was like, I think in 2020, 21. Right when I met Jarrell, I went to go get my hair done by an influencer.
Oh,
and
shit.
I didn't ask for pricing because I was like, it's probably gonna be around like $2,000 because I'm getting like a few hair extensions put in there.
Yeah. Oh, hell no.
And then, of course, I have to tip her. So I was like...
In one session, I've never paid $4K in one session.
It was pretty intense.
I think I would kill somebody.
It was pretty intense. And then she, like, made the color, like, dark. And as a blonde, you know, like, how hard it is to go darker. And then you're just like, oh, my God, I hate it. I have to be blonde again.
I know.
Yeah,
I just had neon orange hair. My hair is dying.
Oh, I did see that. That looked so cute.
I really liked it, but I'm a blonde.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
All right. Is it your turn? Oh, yeah, it is your turn.
Yes. Predraw tips.
Alcohol the skin, dry it out. So dry with the alcohol, because as you're working, I like to place my hands on top of the outline to get a really good stretch. And I'm not going to lose the outline if the skin is really dry.
Yeah.
So skin really dry, pencil really sharp. I'm very picky, but I'll resharpen it during the same client if I need to.
Yeah.
Razor. I razor around the outline so I don't lose the outline. And I use...
What razors do you like to use?
I got these straight razors from Minx Brows. I don't know if
Are they just the flat ones?
they're like just the
little
flat ones, and they're so sharp and they're so nice. You just gotta be careful. But I like to razor. I don't like to tweeze.
Yeah, I don't tweeze.
Yeah, it's just it's just faster, cleaner.
I tell my clients actually to never ever tweeze, wax, or thread for the rest of their life, because
kills the hair follicle.
Yeah. So those are all like eventual permanent forms of removal. And no one knows that really, because we were all sold that growing up. But now us like me who have thin brows now and regret it, I tweezed when I was a teenager. So I always tell everyone, just use razors. Just shave a little bit and it'll grow back in case you regret it.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So STs don't come for me. Because if you love waxing, I mean, anywhere else on the body, yes, just not the brows.
Yeah. Some girls, like, it works great for, especially if you have a lot of brow hair, a lot of, like, facial hair. Like, you just get those fuzz. Yeah, waxing is great. But I am a big razor girl.
I dermaplane my own face, like,
I did last
all
night.
the time.
Yeah. Nicked myself a little bit, but you know what? That's what we do.
I know. It's okay.
Another thing I was going to say is I use rulers. 100%.
The forehead rulers or the caliper
I
rulers?
have this thing, and it is the best ruler I've ever used, and I've been using it for like 7 years, maybe a little bit less, like 6 years, from Allure Beauty. And I think it used to be Deluxe Brows, unless it's still Deluxe Brows. I just want to make sure. I think the line itself is called Allure, which is ALOOR, and it's called the Magic Ruler.
Is it a tape-on?
No, it's a little piece of plastic, and it goes right up the bridge of your nose. I use it in my videos, and it lies flat, like it gets tight right around like your bridge, and that's when you know to lie it flat.
So it's a reusable?
Reusable, yeah. You wipe it down with Cavicide, remove it from your tray before you start tattooing. But yeah, it's fantastic, and it lets me find the true center of the face.
Okay.
And I see so many artists who do fantastic string method. It doesn't work for me. I just can't do it. And a lot of times
I love string.
I just can't, because I see all the time.
So do you just freehand pencil then with the ruler?
Well, I mark out all of the measurements, the
with
basic
the
measurements. No, with I use a golden ratio tool as well.
Okay.
I took a few brow training when I first started.
Okay.
So that's where that came from.
Is it like the bow with the string on it?
No, the one that I'm talking about is the golden ratio. It's kind of like this. It looks like a little caliper, and it has like that middle one, so it helps you find.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Big fan of that guy. So I'll find like the basic measurements of the lower arch, the end, and the front of the brow, and then from there I'll kind of use like a flat. Like Q-tip to like find, where we want to start the brow. And then the golden ratio, the brow mapping, the plasticky thing, it's called the Magic Ruler.
I'm interested.
I'll send you the link. Ruler. I lie it flat up here so you can make sure that the arches are even as well. It's so nice. I don't like the idea of full-blown freehanding, only because I don't know if that's going to be 100% symmetrical.
Yeah.
Being said, we can find and make the brows 100% symmetrical. Our faces are not symmetrical. So the brows are probably not going to really even look that symmetrical. But I do prefer to use at least just finding like where the brows should start, where they should end, using a ruler and using the client's facial features.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's custom. Yeah. I use those classic tape-on rulers.
Yeah.
And
I've seen great results with those.
I love my string.
Yeah.
So I'm a big string girl.
I could watch those videos all day long of the girls just like brow mapping.
Sometimes I don't even use the ruler and just the string, or the ruler at the end.
Sure.
Make them sit up, lay down, sit up, lay down.
For sure.
Because you tattoo like Sleeping Beauty, but I feel like, especially if they're a little more mature skinned, make them sit up.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I used to, like, first being trained as a microblader, I used to do everything laying down upside down. So I can string someone just upside down.
Yeah.
But then you want them to stand up.
Of course.
Double check.
Yeah.
Always double, triple, double check. That's my favorite mapping.
Absolutely.
So, double, triple check. And make sure they're really happy. If they're in the mirror, like, don't do it.
Yeah.
If they're in the mirror, like, oh my God, yeah, like, this is what I want.
It's always scary for clients to see too, because it's an outline.
Different.
Oh my gosh, it looks so
black.
scary.
I use black.
Same. So do I.
Yeah. So I'm always like, don't look at the color.
You know what I've tried recently?
Where the line is.
I think it was Bowler. Lexi Bowler has a white brow mapping pencil, and I ordered it, and I love it.
Really?
Big fan. Yeah, and I haven't used white since like 2016. Big fan. Yeah, I like it.
So you just outline in white?
Outline in white, sure, depending on like their skin tone. If they're super light, obviously it'd be kind of like difficult. But I have found luck with it going out right outside of the black and just kind of like cleaning up a little bit.
So kind of like concealer.
Kind of. I don't use concealer.
I know.
I'm a concealer hater. There's no way.
I still use concealer sometimes.
What I do prefer to use instead of concealer to clean up the outside lines is Bactine on a Q-tip.
Yeah.
Just makes the lines super thin.
Yeah.
It's clean. Yeah, big fan.
Yeah.
I would recommend to do that.
Yeah, I'll like dab a little concealer, and not every client though. I feel like my fair skin. Did I use concealer on your lip blush? Maybe a little bit.
I don't know, maybe.
Like my more fair skin, like us, I don't need concealer. But if I get into darker skin tones, I will do a little bit of concealer.
Sure.
Always put it on your glove or your tray though. I'm not using that same like brush. Always use disposable brushes if you're doing it. And then I tattoo on the pre-drawed line and not on the concealer line.
Right.
So, yeah. And then, of course, Bactine and on all of that. And I've never had an issue or an infection.
Yeah.
So, I'm lucky. But just make sure you're clean if you are using concealer, or just don't use it if you don't need it.
Yeah.
Sometimes in my students and apprentices, I say try both ways. And because sometimes they'll cake concealer too much and it makes it messy, and then they get lost and then they can't see.
Yeah.
So if that's happening to you, skip the concealer and just try it without. You might be happier.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
That makes sense. Is it my turn?
Yep.
Oh. What don't you like about the permanent makeup industry?
Just bad energy, I guess. PMU industry. I guess circles and stuff. Yeah, I don't do that.
I don't like clicks.
Yeah.
It's very clicky.
Like,
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
And for somebody, like, I feel like I am a little bit, as a tattoo collector, my husband's a tattooer, so that industry is just a little bit
I feel like body tattoo
welcoming.
world is really, I feel like it's
Really?
a little worse. Yeah, I feel like body tattoo world could be worse. I feel like sometimes men are worse than girls when it comes to the drama, honestly.
Really? Oh
yeah.
my gosh. I'm not going to argue with you. You might. Yeah.
Yeah, and in my past and stuff, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But PMU can be evil too. Like, I've had girls that I've never even met try to shut me down or like call in a complaint that just doesn't work out for them. Oh yeah.
My God.
People that just have never met me, even male tattooers that just haters. They're out there.
Tattooers who are not in permanent makeup?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
they need more clients.
So they need more, right? They are just so mad. Yeah. So all of that, I think, is just, like, they'll never win. Like, I'm fully licensed and insured.
You're not going to stop. Yeah.
Never had an infection. It's been over 6 years. Like, no one's going to win. But it happens. You know, actually, it's happened to a SD I know the other day. Like, she had, like, a old acquaintance, like, call in on her. And I was like, don't even be bothered by it. Whoa. Like, just don't be bothered.
Oh, my God. Knock on wood. I've never had that happen.
Yeah. But the department doesn't really care. They just take it as, like, a, hey, we have to let you know.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, let me know.
Yeah,
Somebody
unless
calls,
it's
like,
an actual...
Like, who was it?
Yeah, no, unless you have an actual client with infection and
Sure.
proof and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if you just have an artist that doesn't like you, call in on you, nothing's going to happen to you.
That's
They just have to let you know.
Bummer.
Yeah. Oh, no, I've had, like, a few times. Even when I started, because I've worked in different spas, and I've even had, like, people anonymously write owners and be like, this and this and so and so and
You know what I
such.
got when I first started this industry is I have obviously my brow Instagram and then I have my personal Instagram.
Yeah.
And I used to model, like
Same.
Yeah, like I'm not, now it's just like selfies that I take of myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We're too mature.
But as somebody who collects tattoos,
Yeah.
I like to show them off.
Yeah,
And somebody, I'm not going to name names, somebody made, or they had like on their email, they sent me an email basically calling me a slut. And it was another brow artist. And recently, a few days ago, I had somebody commenting on my personal Instagram telling me, wow, how could anybody go to you for a professional service?
Oh, God.
And, you know, listen,
no.
people are weird. That's fine.
Yeah.
And like for me, like I don't comment. Like I would I'm just deleting it. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to try and figure out who it is.
Yeah.
Like let's not be weird. But the permanent makeup industry, it's majority of women who are in competition with each other. Now, for the most part, I like to, and I know you do as well, I like to make friends with people. I like to talk to you. I like to go hang out with you. I've only been to one permanent makeup convention, and it was the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah, they're fun.
On the flip side, there is so much shit talking. It always goes back to the person.
Oh, yeah.
I've had so people, like you said, girls that I've never even met, saying pretty nasty things about either me personally or my work or how I train my students. You know, I trained them on, for a while, I was using Tina Davies' I Heart Inc. And I had a very well-known artist who was going around and talking crap about that. And, you know, you kind of think about it and like, okay, not everybody's going to like you. That's fine. In my brain, what other people think about me is not my business. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I just, in my brain, I just want to
know.
I just want to be like, oh, we're friends. We're friends, right? We're friends.
Yeah.
And then you find out that they're saying like these horrible things about you. And to me, the industry is just so catty.
Yeah.
It is so catty. And like, I feel like part of like my responsibility as somebody who does have a larger platform, I kind of want to call it out. I kind of want to call out the cliques.
Yeah.
Maybe some organizations that, you know, I'm not super stoked on.
There's no such thing as a PMU organization. I'll say that. Like they're out there, but they're not a necessity. You know what I mean?
And I'm not going to say any other comment about it.
Right.
But I'm not a part of like that. I don't feel like I fit in.
Yeah. Same.
Even now, like seeing permanent makeup conventions come into town, I don't even want to go because I just feel like I wouldn't fit in, to be honest with you. I 100% feel like I would not be
They're
welcomed.
fun, but they are not a necessity. So don't ever feel like you have to go to those to do
be
well.
a successful artist. And one thing that I've learned throughout my career, and this has been like a really humbling moment, is like you need to like, for me, I was always trying to figure out like, well, how do I get into like this group? Like, how do I like make myself better to do this, this, and this? And even when I first started, I posted my work, I remember, and I think it was PMU, Microblading Sisterhood or something like that. And I was really proud of myself because I thought I did such a good set of brows for my first model away from my trainer.
Yeah.
Every single comment was not giving me constructive criticism. It was ripping me to shreds.
Yeah.
And I felt, from there on out, I never felt like, you know, that I could trust 100% of the people in the industry. And then, you know, like a few months after that, I got my own space because I was getting clients. I was putting out better work and I was kind of progressing. And then I had the same girls that were commenting on my stuff in those groups, talking shit to me, ask me for advice.
And look at you now. Like,
and like in my petty brain.
No, people will be like, oh, she said, like,
And I'm not the best artist out there, not by a long shot. I think I do good work.
Yeah, she is.
You're
Yeah, she
very
is.
nice. I think I
Yeah,
do
she
good
is.
work. I do like my work. If I were to tattoo like my own eyebrows, that's how I would want them to look. So that's how I operate. But I
Yeah.
would never say that I'm the best artist out there. I have a long way to go too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm not misleading people. I am not. It's just kind of like a tricky situation where you want to stay in your own lane, but at the same time, like people are counting on you. People ask me for advice on certain like marketers or groups and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, I feel like I've been mildly successful without any of it.
Yeah.
The number one thing, if you want to be a successful artist, yes, socializing is great. I love meeting all like my new homies, and just talking to them, like when somebody posts something crazy in the group, like, oh my God, did you see that? I love that. But at the same time, like there's such a huge issue with just
The drama.
the drama, but the smoke and mirrors. I would
Yeah.
say just smoke and mirrors. I feel like a lot of it is not even that accurate. You're not going to feel special because you're not accepted into a specific group.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's take a look at the group a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Is it a group that you even want to be in?
Yeah.
So that's just kind of where I'm at, where I do need to mind my own business, not say anything as much as I typically do. But at the same time, I don't like people feeling out of the clique, out of the loop, out of the circle.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah, if you look at some of the best artists on the market, none of them are cliquey,
Mhm.
and we all like each other,
Yeah.
actually.
I
Yeah.
think, right?
Yeah.
I hope everybody
don't
likes
know,
me. I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. We're not cliquey and drama free. I have had to block quite a few people in my time, but
Really?
but I have no drama because I'm drama free.
Would you've had to block people for? I'm just curious.
Oh, like just other artists saying like, oh, she just trains for the money, things like that. And then it'll be funny because that'll get to me from a student that booked me anyways. You know what I mean?
Tricky. Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, I wanted to train with this person, and then I mentioned I wanted to train with you, but she didn't like that. And then she made up this stuff about you. And this was a student that didn't even know me.
Mm-hmm.
But you can read between the lines on social media a bit, just things like that. I've had to block artists over.
Damn.
Just like bad vibes,
Yeah, I feel like you can kind of feel it sometimes too. And like,
But it's crazy because I knew her in person,
Yeah.
and we were actually like kind of cool.
oh, that's
Yeah.
the worst one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
my biggest fear.
So, have your guard up, but not too up. One of those.
Sure.
Yeah. So yeah, and then there's like, have you ever felt copied and pasted? Just like not even by a student, but by
there's
anybody?
been artists in the past who have copied my business name, and that really
Right.
irks me. And like at
So-
the end of the day, like I'm still gonna be fine.
So you've had to block some people then.
I think I did block her.
Yeah.
You're right. I think I did
Yeah.
block her because I
So-
asked her to. I was like, hey, can you change your business name
Right.
because you
You're like,
opened
I'm
your
already- yeah.
you opened your Supernatural Brows 3 hours away from where I opened my Supernatural Brows.
Were you already copyrighted? At the
So
time,
she's
or
in
still?
Canada. So that's where, yeah.
Oh,
so what am I
no.
gonna do? But it's so close to the point where, like, in my opinion, I feel like she knew what she was doing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, not gonna let it get to me. So yeah, block. Just not even gonna, not gonna go after that.
It's fine because people, I feel like you're the only one I follow with that name. And,
Sweet.
And you're the only one I ever knew with that name.
Sweet.
And then
And
when
it
I
came
saw
out
your
of
work,
nowhere.
I was like, this is the perfect name
Okay,
for this
good.
girl. Yeah, no.
It used to be Seattle Microblading, and
Oh,
how
no,
generic is that? And the
no.
only reason I
Yeah.
chose that is because if you Google Seattle Microblading, of course, it comes back
Yeah.
to my website.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything about LLCs. I didn't know anything about business registering. So then I got this letter from
Oh, no.
some
Yeah.
city official. And they're like, you need to register as a business or stop acting as a business. And I was like, dang, okay. So I called them. I figured it out, got my business. But I didn't want to register that. So I was like, literally within 30 seconds, I was like, what should I do? Something
What's the new
spooky.
name?
Yeah, I was like, something spooky but goes along with it. So I was like, yeah, okay, Supernatural Brows works. I wish I would have used my
I
name.
love it. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But my name, the only reason I didn't, my last name, like my maiden name, super long. Nobody knows how to pronounce it.
What is it?
It's Sturtevant. Same one
Oh,
that's
okay.
on,
I'm like, what do you mean?
on Facebook, yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I read it at first, I'm like, Perfect.
Like Stuart.
Yeah. I mean, that's like me with my first name. Everyone's like Mylynda. I'm like, no.
Mylynda.
Just call me Mine's good.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, mine's good.
Was it your turn or my turn?
Yours.
How do you feel that the tattoo culture differs from the PMU culture?
I mean, everything's different. I like to say it's the same licensing, but it's a different sport. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's like there's baseball and then there's basketball. They can't play each other's teams, but yeah, it's just everything's different. The body is, we're using different pigments and different needles and sometimes different machines and different angles.
And you took an apprenticeship, correct?
Yeah.
For body art tattooing.
No, I was in a body art shop, but I was doing PMU, but also kind of watching over and dabbling in body. Gotcha. And I just chose to like be like, I don't think I'm going to ever do body. And so I put myself in a PMU box. So that's kind of how it was.
I prefer permanent makeup.
Yeah.
Mostly because I enjoy it immensely. I have it down to a T where like the clients, I work with the clients really easily and know what to expect. They know what to expect.
Yeah.
Tattooing, I'm a tattoo collector. I'm not a tattoo artist. So it's not something that I would start doing without, apprenticing with my husband or something like that. But
yeah.
I prefer brows. I also make more money doing brows than I do tiny tattoos or whatever else people are kind of like doing. So I do prefer to kind of stick within like what I know.
Yeah.
I will say with like trainings and stuff like that, tattooers hear about the trainings that even like tattooers that tattoo me, they're like, well, you train people. What do you mean? I said, yeah, I got like a 5-day class. And that's a fair amount of time. That's a fair amount of time in the permanent makeup world. But of course, in tattoo world, they're like 5 days. And I'm like,
yeah, it's
coaching is lifetime. All these things.
Yeah,
but for tattooing, they're not going to teach somebody an apprenticeship within 5 days. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Exactly. So understandable.
So like trainings are for technique, but apprenticeships are the mentoring you need to kind of actually be comfy.
100%. And I like to, without using the word apprenticeship, I feel like that is what I offer. But in Nevada, I don't do apprenticeships because I don't have the time. And I would feel guilty, if somebody's working on a model and I'm not there watching, and that's just so much time. So I don't offer apprenticeships. If you want an apprenticeship, go see Mylynda.
I do offer apprenticeships. I like them just to kind of have a buddy in the shop sometimes, because it gets a little lonely. I love apprenticing girls, and at the time 6 months is up, they do feel comfy to go off. And I only take a certain amount of time.
Good.
Just make sure if you don't apprentice with me, just make sure who you apprentice with has that mentor card in Nevada, because I know a lot of artists still don't have that card, and they'll still be training. It's a new one that I saw.
Yeah. Well, you can train without the mentorship card.
You can train, yes.
But you cannot
offer the apprenticeship.
People,
so that's I feel like students don't know that. You might like go take a training and then ask to apprentice, and she does offer apprenticeships, but she might not have that card.
Ooh, it's a new one too that I saw. So
maybe
they just don't know
the last 2 years. The last year of regulations.
Last year, I would say, because I got my first licensing when I moved here was 2 years ago, and there was no mentorship card. But they kind of redid some things.
Do you have yours?
No, I'm not getting a mentorship card.
Oh,
I don't want. Yeah.
Well, at first, when they first made it a rule, anyone was allowed to get the mentor card. First, only there was like a month span or 2 month span. They're like,
that's weird.
They're like, you can obtain it.
Grandfathering in people.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And then, but now you cannot get one unless you've had 4 or 5 years experience.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Don't mind it at all.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't offer apprenticeships, you don't need one.
True. But I feel like if you are going to offer an apprenticeship, having 5 years experience is fantastic. Yeah. We would love to see that. Anything less would be questionable.
Questionable. Yeah. Anything less than 3 years, very questionable.
All right. How are we doing on time? Sweet. Zing. All right. Okay, you want to ask the next question?
This one is, what's your favorite lip pigment?
That's for you. I don't do lips anymore.
She's a brow queen.
I quit it, yeah.
Lip pigments, I use 3 lines. I use World Famous, I use Mara Colors, and I use Ever After. I will say World Famous was my day one. Well, first Perma one was my day one, but then I just switched to World. World is a body line. It's just gonna retain the most. So if you have someone that's wanting a really natural lip, I would say don't use World. Use Mara or use Ever After. Ever After and Mara are specifically for the lips. So, but I'll mix all of them. I don't mind. And I started getting Mara because she has a lot of nudes and neutrals. So I love her nudes.
Her whole branding.
She seems so
beautiful.
Sweet. Never met her, but she seems just darling. But if I had to just pick, I like things very permanent and I like lip lines very there. So I'd say World is kind of my style, but I do love the Mara and Ever Afters for that wide range of nudes because girls want nudes and neutrals lately, like this year, like that's what's in. And you can always change them pinker or more red in the future. Things can be shifted. So yeah, those are my favorites.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yay. Your turn.
Oh, how many years have you done permanent makeup before you decided to start training?
I think I was doing it like 3 years before I started training by myself. I used to assist train another company. So I never even thought to train. I just kind of got thrown into it. And it was microblading training. Yeah. And I was assisting her. And then I was doing like all the models and kind of doing a lot of work. Yeah. So, yeah. And then she boosted me up and was like, you need to just do your own. Because she knew I was like more machine routed. And, gotcha. And then I started doing the ombre training. So it's like the first one. Yeah. So that's how I started, and then just never quit. Yeah. I do see a lot of girls just like take one training and then start going to train, and I am not for that. Just don't do that. Don't be that girl.
I haven't seen that. That's interesting.
Some of my past students, yeah, they just like train, and then like 8 months later, they're a trainer, and I'm like, oh, why are you doing that? You know, just a little longer or a little more trainings, then I'm all for it. But right off the bat, I'm like, I don't know if they're copying and pasting me or my manual. And then, you know, you never know. You never know.
Biggest fear. Oh my God, I never even thought about that.
I don't know. And I don't care if they are.
Sure.
Like if the student chooses you, you should be their trainer. But then the student's just not studying, you know, and they're not like researching. And that's where all these bad training reviews and stuff fall in. If you don't know what your trainer is training you, then you shouldn't be paying them to train you. You know, So. Absolutely. So yeah.
I similarly, I think about like 3 years. My first training, I was hired to actually fly out and train like a dermatology office.
Cool.
Which was really fun. Very interesting. Yeah. I never.
Are they still doing PMU?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. This was a long time ago. I don't know. It was in South Carolina. So in South Carolina, you do have to have like a doctor overhead. So that's why it was at a dermatology's office. Yeah, and that was a great experience, and it kind of got my foot in the door. And I, like you, like I never even really thought about training. It was to the point that people were asking me dozens of times, like on a daily basis, like, would you train me? Would you do this? Would you do one-on-one? And I finally did a training, and I can't remember. It was when I was still living in Pennsylvania, so it was a long time ago. And then from there, of course, you know, you learn how to be a better trainer. You keep moving, you keep grooving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love training.
I love training. I do. Yeah. And you just get to like, you know, learn a bunch of fun new stuff, hang out with some, you know, great girls. And for me personally, I know I've made a lot of like actual friends like through training. You want to keep like that fine line of like, you know, you still want to be able to like help them and stuff like that, of course. But to have like kind of like a friendship with my students has been great. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
So cute.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. This year has been like one of my favorite years for training by far.
Yeah. I feel like because I apprenticed too, I just always grow those friendships with my apprentices because I'm around them for so long.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? But I love my fly-in students. They're like always so happy and like almost the most appreciative, I feel like.
You know what? It's so true.
Yeah.
And most of my students in almost every single class, they all are from out of state because, you know, let's say you live in Las Vegas, you contact me because you want to learn how to do brows. I'm going to send you somewhere to get an apprenticeship. So like you can take my class if you would like to. Yeah. You'll learn like my techniques, but at the same time, like you can't get licensed through my class. So, you know, like it's kind of like, so most of my students are from out of state as well. I love that.
I do. I love that.
Like, where are you staying? And they always have like some crazy story about where they're staying, and like the hotel flooded, something weird happened. It's always some crazy stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Vegas.
So you can come
here for training and other stuff. So yeah.
Very true. All right.
It's my turn to ask you.
It is.
Do you think it's better to only offer one technique? So one niche, I guess.
Not necessarily. I do like to think that I would consider myself a master of like brows versus jack of all trades. I was offering, at one point I was offering eyeliner and lip tattooing. I decided I didn't like to do eyeliner, so I focused on lip and brows. I'm not crazy about lips anymore, so I'm focusing on brows. And that's just kind of like what I really enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's artists that you think about and you're like, oh, she's really good at like this specific thing. And that's what they're kind of like known for. So I feel like, yeah, to an extent, I feel like it sometimes could be better to be a master of one versus jack of all trades.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are so many girls who are great at doing eyebrows, lips, eyeliner, freckles.
Right.
Whatever else they want to offer. Yeah. And, you know, especially like right now, I'm not going to judge it because like it's so slow for so many artists. Like book, you know, whatever you're good at doing, book it in there, get your services. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've definitely juggled with that myself. Like I went to doing a lot of services in the beginning of my career and then went to like just eyebrows. And then I even dropped microblading off my services. I was only doing ombre brows for a minute. And then I was like, no, you know, like there's still other stuff I like. And then I learned lips. And I was like, oh, lips are my favorite. Why did I name myself Brow Angel?
Oh
like, it should be Lip Angel. But I do like doing brows and lips equally. Lips are just funner for me. I feel like it's more of a plastic surgery in a sense. Because I'm changing the whole anatomy of the upper lip and the colors. And I don't know, for me, it's more like, let me do your
passionate.
lips.
So
yeah,
passionate.
More passion in my lips. I still love brows. They're still my day one. But lips is totally my fave. If you can, like, I've been posting lips, like, more than anything. Like, I feel like my Instagram is just, it says brow, but then it's like lips. But I don't think you need one niche. Just pick your top favorites. So, like, because I'm certified in removal, freckles, eyeliner, all the things. But I don't like doing those things. So I picked my top three. 3 is my favorite number. Works out.
There you go.
So, yeah. There you go. Done.
Yep. All right. What was your profession before permanent makeup? I think we kind of went over this. We did that.
Yeah. We did that
okay,
one.
Let's do this one. Oh, I already flipped it over. Okay, here we go. What keeps you motivated?
I mean, I really like to work. I think I'm a workaholic. So my motivation is just kind of getting up and going. And then, of course, my daughter. Like, I'm a mom. So
that's so sweet.
You gotta keep the kid happy. She's expensive. She's a girl. And, yeah, I think she's probably my biggest motivation. And then just keeping clients happy. Like, I kind of live to.
Yeah. 100%.
Like, just, are you happy? I want everyone happy. And I'm a giver.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just a big giver. So I just, that's my motivation.
Absolutely. I am always trying to perfect my craft. And to do that, I got to hurt my own feelings and look at how good other people's work is. And then I have to be like, I have to learn how to do that.
Right.
Yeah. Honestly, and it's painful. I've got to compare your work to other people's and be like, okay, I need to do this.
Girl, you are so good. I feel like every brow artist on the market is looking at you thinking the same thing.
That's very sweet, and that means a lot.
Yeah. But of course, we're our own worst critics.
Like, I even look at my work from like last year, and I'm like looking at specific brows. I'm like, could have done that better. You know what I mean? So people keep asking me too. Like, I think we had a question in here of like, when after you like finished training, did you really feel like you
We're good.
got it. I don't know. I'm still like, I feel like I got it right now. In 2 years, I'm going to look back at my work and be like, maybe I could have done this. Yeah. So you're always constantly moving and grooving.
Yeah.
You're always growing.
Yeah.
And expanding your knowledge on permanent makeup, because just a few years ago, we microbladed everybody. Now look how nobody's doing that anymore. And so there's like a reason why we want to move with the trends.
Yeah. Yeah, when I first started in my apprenticeship and was at the time only microblading, and then post my apprenticeship, I fell off the market for like 5-6 months. I hated microblading for a time because back then it was really hard. We were kind of like, here's how to do it, go do it, you know? And so I fell off and thought I wasn't even going to do PMU for a minute.
Wow.
And then all the machine courses came out.
Right.
So I went and took quite a few of those.
Nice.
And I was like, I love the machine. Yeah. So then I was like just ombre queen for a while. And then, but I mean, I do every kind of brow. I'm not opposed, but I would say ombre is my favorite, or the powder.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fusion. Oh, big fan. That's my stuff.
Oh, we know, girl. We know.
I get so excited. I get excited driving to work. I don't feel like anybody
else.
Fusion
brows.
Yeah, literally. I feel like most people in other professions don't get to say that. So we are very lucky, very blessed. Yeah. And that kind of goes along with the thing of like, you know, if it was easy, everybody would do it.
Right.
Because you make good money. Because you should enjoy it. Yeah. So, I mean, in my dreams, like everybody becomes a successful permanent makeup artist. But there's things that you have to do, things you have to know. And yeah, that's what we're trying to help with. So
we work 25/7.
Literally. Oh my God. Yeah. And like one of the biggest things too is like my personal life. And like I was a single girl. I had no kids, like nothing, you know? And so in 2020 that all changed where, you know, I met Jarrell. We had baby, everything like that. And so I went from being like on my phone all the time, constantly talking to clients, constantly emailing people, to now when I go home, I can't do that. It doesn't, you know, like it's not fair to my family. It's not fair to me. So things for like it now, yes, it'll take me a little bit longer to respond to your email. I scan for emergencies. But I think finding like a healthy balance is super important.
Yeah,
but at the end of the day,
it's hard.
Love working.
Me and my husband are horrible at time management. We are just working from when we wake up to when we go to bed. It's pretty bad. Yeah, we need a little bit more time management.
It's hard. It's hard to find that balance.
Take a day off. Mine's Mondays. Don't talk to me on Monday. Nice. And then any other day is good. Yeah. So yeah, time management is hard. But you sound like you have it under control though. A little better than me.
Better than it was a year ago.
I'm like, sure, you can still DM me and email me and all the things, and things are all scrambled and all over the place, and yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's crazy. Or the whole phone call thing.
Nobody gets my personal phone number.
Yeah.
Except for students, but they're pretty good about it. So
right. Yeah. Or me, I have it.
Or Mylynda.
You could pay me. Just kidding. You can't.
Yeah, I've had to change it twice actually.
I've changed mine once.
Yeah.
Just once.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I have a business line, but it's a texting line. So, you know.
Like WhatsApp? Or?
Yeah, it's like a Text Now or something.
Oh, it's an app. Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of that. Smart.
Recommend it.
Text Now.
Yeah.
Okay. Got you. I think, is it my turn? This one's a lip one. What size needle do I use for lips? I like a lot of sizes. It depends on my mood. I might line with one size and shade with one.
Depends on the vibe.
I'm a one girl, like a 1RL. I like a 0.30. I can line and shade with a 30, or I might line with an 18 and shade with a 30, or line with a 25 and shade with a 30. If they have bigger, juicier lips, I might shade with a 3RL or even a 5. Sometimes I pull out a 5, but that's usually neutralization. On my Fair Fitzpatrick types, I will probably stick with the 1.
What'd you use on me? Do you remember?
I think a 1 the whole time.
Nice.
I might have ended you with a 3 though. I think I did have 2 needles on my tray.
Nice.
3 will get like coverage quicker, like when you were in a little bit of pain. So when my clients,
I hate getting tattooed.
Yeah, when my clients like hurt, like lips aren't fun, but you're either like relaxed or hate it. Like there's no between. So my clients not liking it, I'm going to let her sit in ultra for a second, and then I'll gauge up to a 3 or a 5 and kind of get more pigment in there. But if you see my work on Instagram and if it looks really pixely or ombre with a lot of pixels in there, it's a 1RL 0.30. That's my T needle for sure.
Hell
Yeah.
Worked great. My lips looked fantastic.
Her lips are amazing.
You can go to her Instagram to like see the before and after.
Yeah, and we're going to go a little darker next time.
We're going to get crazy.
We're going to go darker. Yeah, we're going darker for sure.
All
I'm going
right.
to do the next one.
Okay,
since that one
sure.
was just what machines do we use?
I use the Bellar Air and I love it. I also have a Mass Tour, which I also love. And then I have like the regular Bellar if I'm feeling like I want to use a cord. But I've been using my Bellar Air. It's so light. It hits so softly.
I have the old corded one. I used it like twice and never again.
I love it. I know. I saw that you sold it.
I didn't sell it yet. I actually kept
really?
it. No one snagged it. And I'm like, oh, keep it. I just have so many machines.
Yeah, I feel you.
But lately for PMU, my favorite is Mass P15.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Mass Tour, just a little smaller, more noisy. I feel like it has a bit quicker of a pack than like the Mass Tour. I feel like I have to like work longer, if that makes
Sure.
sense.
What's the stroke on the, do you know?
I don't even know on that one. P15 though. And then it has the little AirBot battery. It's cute.
Yeah.
I
cute.
train with it now too.
Nice.
So I put it in my kits.
That's great.
It's just so cute. It reminds me of like Eva from like Wall-E, the little battery, you know?
No.
You know the movie Wall-E?
I know Wally. I don't think I've ever seen it though.
The little white robot.
I know Wally. I know that man. I don't think
Anyways,
I've like
he
seen
knows what
it.
I'm talking about. It's a really cute machine. I like it. So if you're looking inexpensive, I also like the Master though. I use it too.
Yeah, big fan.
So if you're looking
And
for
very-
inexpensive,
yeah.
the Mass Tour or the Mass P15, both are great.
You know what I just bought?
What?
The masked pen, because I saw browsed by, is it Julie Kim? Yeah, Julie Kim did a review on it.
Okay.
And when I got that thing in the mail, I was showing everybody at the tattoo convention because this thing is like
It's
this
small?
big, so
Really?
small. And everybody was like pretending to vape with it because it's that
Oh,
tiny.
really? Even
It's
with the
super
battery?
light.
It doesn't
No, the battery makes it a little bit heavier,
Okay,
makes it a
okay.
little bit bigger, but
Okay.
it's still super
It's
small.
called Mass Pen.
Like the masked pen, I believe is what it's called. I
How
got
much
it
was it?
from, it's like $85.
Really?
And it's recommended for machine hair strokes. Still haven't used it.
Okay.
Again, love
I'm
my
gonna
Bellar
have to
Air,
buy
but I'll bust
another
it out.
millionth machine.
Yeah, it's super
Mask pen.
cute.
Okay.
Talk about
I'll
cute.
remember
That.
that.
thing's tiny. Yeah.
And
big
I
fan.
love mass needles. I love
You're like the
mass
fourth
needles.
person to tell me that.
I
Yeah.
love them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have bulk right now.
You know
I
what
think
else
I
you
have the
can do?
25s.
You can put your name. You can personalize those bad
Random?
boys. Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I get asked all the time if I've ever thought to be a product. And like I brand my stuff for my kids. Like I have my own skins. I have thousands of them. I feel like setting up online
I need to do
store.
that. I just buy like what I use and put it in there.
Right.
I would love to put my name on.
Yeah,
some
no, I
skins.
have all the skins and the bags and the cute stuff, but I don't know. I feel like setting up a shop and shipping out orders. I just like almost. I don't have. I have to hire
It's
someone.
overwhelming.
I'll have to hire someone if I decide. If I decided to actually create anything, it'd probably be a lip pigment, but I'm not even going to put that out there.
Okay. All right.
I'm not even going to put that out there because y'all stress me out with my online courses I can't even put out there. So, yeah, I don't know about if I'll ever be a product, but I'm not against it either. But other machine, I also love the Bishop Packer. That's an expensive machine. So, yeah, that's what I would use for
Fantastic.
if I'm doing small body tattoos.
Hell yeah.
Or lips sometimes. Brows, though, usually not. Usually I'll stick to my mask. for
Yeah,
brows.
I'll use something a little bit softer hitting for eyebrows.
The-
but I've heard of artists, like lip artists, who use
Bishop
like a
Packer.
4-point stroke. And they do beautiful work.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
whatever works.
It really depends on just who's charged in my drawer. That's what I'm pulling out that day. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Coolio. All right, let's see. Oh, do you recommend hiring artists and paying them commission?
I never have. So,
I haven't either, but you know what I do? You know what I would prefer, tax-wise and everything like that? It's just easier. Booth rent.
right.
Booth
Yeah,
rent.
yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then I don't feel responsible for getting you clients. I still have like stuff in my shop available to use.
Yeah.
But even for our new shop, we're going to be mostly just doing booth rent. We will have people on commission payroll, of course, like front desk girl, laser
Yeah.
girl, stuff like that. But For the artist, booth rent is great. You know, they're responsible for finding their own clients. They get to do their own work. It's essentially like they're operating their businesses like inside of our shop.
Yeah.
And paying booth rent is a little bit simpler than, you know, commission. You have to kind of keep track of it.
Booth
payroll,
better.
taxing, you know, all of that stuff. So yeah, I prefer booth rent personally, but I do know artists have had really good results with artists who are on commission. But of course, you want to kind of decipher what kind of commission you want to put them on. What are you offering to them? Stuff like that.
All the things.
Yeah, you should be offering all the things.
Right. My apprentices are pretty lucky because they pay a flat rate for the 6 months, and then they're allowed to make money in their apprenticeship. Yeah, they can.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'm like, you can start. They're like, what should I charge? And I'm like, well, at first you gotta, you know,
that's actually a really good question.
Do a handful for free.
Yeah.
Then, you know, work your way. Do 100, then 150, then 200, then 250. As soon as you think you can get there, you can get there. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I recommend, and it depends on your area, I would recommend to start out around 200. Now you can do like a special at first to get like, you know, first 10 people who want to do the special. That's a great model fee. It covers your insurance. It covers your fees. When people are doing really low rated brows, and they've been in the industry for a minute, so I'm talking about like, of course it depends on the area, so I'm just going to throw a number out there, like 150 or something. Clients are going to be a little bit wary, and that's also going to pull forward a bad clientele.
Yeah.
Very picky people. My clients, you know, they pay a fair amount for their eyebrows. They're great. You know, I feel like I am providing like a good service. I've been doing it for a hot minute. But when I first started, I was only charging around $200. And I knew it was time to go up in price when I started getting fully booked with that. And then I took a new training, and maybe I'm doing better work. You know, you put your prices up like that. But I think starting out around 200, depending on your area, is a great starting point, because that means that, you know, your client knows that you took a training, you're trustable, you're not just throwing out free eyebrows. I would be wary of a free permanent service personally, but you know, if your portfolio is showing good work and you're offering a free service in exchange for photos, yeah, sure.
Right.
Why not?
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree. I think when I was a beginner, I was around 300 for a long, like almost 2 years. I was very nice and like didn't want to raise.
That's how I was, yeah.
And then when I did, I was like, oh, why didn't I do this sooner?
It just kind of weeds out people too who are not very serious about it.
Yeah.
I do like to charge like the higher end, but of course, like I see people who are charging thousands of dollars for eyebrows.
I don't see that
For
often.
me personally, I hear about it from like people who have gone to an artist before they come to me, and I want to know more about like their experience beforehand, you know? And so very interesting.
I'm actually still like the going rate for good artists. And I even get asked like why I'm so cheap sometimes. Yeah. I just
why
think,
are you so cheap?
Yeah.
That's okay.
I even buy like clients and
Really?
artists, like
wow.
both. So I'm like, okay, client, you can tip me then.
For sure.
I don't think I'm cheap, but I think I'm just like fair for the time being. I do see myself going up to 800-900, so you better book while you can. But I don't know when, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, but I will be up there. Probably once
this
we're
recession
less,
is over,
right?
Yeah.
And we're working less too, and
yeah.
maybe if I do hire on an artist at one point, because I wouldn't mind building like a brow angle squad. I wouldn't mind.
I love that.
But I do kind of I've always let my apprentices brand themselves and be themselves, because that's how I wanted to be treated. Yeah. But there comes a point in time where I am a brand, and like your brow angle squad or don't apprentice with me type thing.
Sure.
Now, like it's got to come to that point eventually. I'm not there yet.
Yeah.
But it will. You know, because I'm super nice. I just want to be nice. I'm like, build your brand, be you, and then I'm going to set you free like a butterfly. Like that's how it works. But I wouldn't mind, because there will be girls out there that would be like, oh, I'd love to be a part of, you know, Engel.
Right.
You know, like
absolutely.
Same with, there would be artists to die that would work for you too. To be like Supernatural Brows dot Cindy. You know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of people too, when they meet me, they're surprised because I'm not like, oh my God, hey, what's up? Oh my God. You know, I just like, I am kind of a loner. I do like to work alone. I do like to like do my own thing.
Sounds like me.
But yeah, I mean, you know, we'll see.
One day. I think one day.
Yeah.
I think we'll both do that. I feel like we're kind of on the same time track. Things are eventual. Don't write these sentences down, but it's probably eventual for both of us.
Sure. Is it my turn or your turn?
I don't know. I think it's mine.
Okay.
Because, how often do our clients get touch-ups?
What a fantastic question. Okay, so let's say my client comes back 6 to 8 weeks because she wants to make them darker or thicker, which is typically the case. After that, because I use carbon-based inks, I'll say about a year and a half, maybe even 2 years. Less is more with touch-ups, especially when you're using a carbon-based ink. 100%.
I exactly would just repeat what she said.
Yeah.
Because I also use carbon-based pigments. So, yes. And then I also tell my clients, eventually, I say once I've tattooed your brows, I'm talking about brows right now, 5-6 times, like down the road, years from now, I will probably eventually cut you off, where the skin is just so full of pigment, there's no more room. I like to use Mickey Mouse as an example. His ear's black. If I keep coloring black or brown over it, it's not changing anything. It's already fully saturated. And then they're just like, oh, okay. So that they know it's a tattoo and it's very permanent. One day it's going to be very dark, very full, if they keep redoing it.
Right.
And then at that point in time, your only options are like lasers or lightening or we can always neutralize and like turn ashy back to brown or turn things backwards, but you're still going to have all this pigment in there. So I feel like everyone gets to a point where like my brows have been done 6 times and they're done. They're done and they're not getting tattooed anymore.
They're fully cooked. Yes.
They're fully cooked. So that's how I like to explain.
100%. And especially for, unfortunately, I do get a lot of, not unfortunately, but I do get a lot of clients who fly in from out of state. So let's say they book in a touch-up, but then they come in, I'm like, it's not really time for a touch-up. So when in doubt, always send a photo to your artist. Yeah. So that way they can tell you like, hey, let's wait a little bit longer. Yeah. Like your brows still look pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll never heal how you walk out. We know, like some of brunettes, they want that dark brow, but it'll always be a little lighter, and that's how it's supposed to heal soft. We want it to
be that way. Yeah, you want it to look still natural when you take your makeup off.
It's not supposed to feel like mine. There's makeup on these. There's makeup. Okay?
Your brows look super good.
I like them dark.
Sure.
But yeah, they're not supposed to feel that dark. But my brows are an actual tattoo, so they're very blue-gray. So yeah, they aren't like PMU. These are a tattoo, not PMU. Okay. So yeah.
Cool. All right, let's see here. Ooh. Okay, no, we'll do this one. The questionable one will be the next one. What makes an artist stand out from the rest? What makes you different?
Ooh.
What makes you super diff?
Honestly, I don't know. I feel like a person on the outside could answer that better than me. But I feel like I've rebranded myself so many times.
Branding is a big thing.
Even now, like I rerouted to like a whole new theme on my Instagram. Standing out wise, I'd say at least in Las Vegas, my lip blush. Like
the style.
I know I'm really one of the best out here for lips. Just in like healed terms, keeping the lip line, all the things, like they are really hard. So I'd say I take the most pride in that, and I feel like that's what I want to stand out for. But for clients and people following me, I would love to know what they like, why they book me or why I stand out to them. I don't really know. But
I watch a lot. I watch a lot on social media. I would say like the artists to me that stand out have fantastic branding. The work is amazing. Your work, honestly, at the end of the day, like your work just has to be really good. Yeah. You can do all the marketing, all the reels, all the funny stuff that you want, but if your work doesn't really hold its weight, you're not going to see your brand kind of pop out.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but social media has such a huge place in popularity amongst like permanent makeup. So you want to make sure that you are active on, I find that Instagram is the most popular, and TikTok. I can't.
I'm trying to.
TikTok is like, on my personal TikTok, great, it's fine. But on my brow TikTok, I can't figure it out. I started just
putting my brow stuff on my personal TikTok because I don't really
Same.
use it anyways.
That's kind of what I do too.
Just to see. I have gotten a student from TikTok before.
I've got in every class. I
Yeah.
have one student, or at least one
And
or
I'm like,
two.
TikTok, really?
And I get so embarrassed
rare.
because
I
I
know,
post
me
like
too.
the weirdest
I
stuff
know.
on there, and I know they're just like, "Oh, this girl's a freak," but whatever. I'll
Yeah,
put with her.
I know.
But
So you never know where people are gonna come from. That's why I just post on everywhere.
Yeah. But standing out, honestly, it's your work, it's your niche. So you look at like really popular tattooers too. What are they known for? What are they good at doing? You know, I think of like Julie Kim as well. Like when I think about people who do nano hair strokes or trainers, I think of Julie Kim. You know what I mean? So work goes hand in hand.
I need to follow these names because I don't know who that is.
Oh, dude, she has like. I was thinking about taking one of her
Maybe
trainings
I do
too.
follow her.
You might. I think she's in Colorado. Yeah, fantastic. So and like, there's so many amazing artists out there. Yeah,
Colorado, you need a SD, right? I
Colorado is you like do need to have an aesthetics license.
Yeah.
So I do get what's it called? Students who are from Colorado, and they need to have like, I believe it's 150 hours or 135.
Yeah.
It's very specific.
I do think that's a thing Nevada could throw in.
No.
Hours.
No. I'm so
No,
anti.
just in an apprenticeship. Not
Okay,
a
maybe
training
apprenticeship.
thing.
Yeah,
Not a training.
I
thing.
thought apprenticeships do. You have to like sign off on hours. I could be wrong.
No. Apprenticeships is just 6 months apprenticeship.
Gotcha. Oh,
So
wow.
it's ran like every artist runs it differently.
The honor system.
That's why you have to be careful because you don't have to actually be watched over.
I did not
because
know
there's
that.
no hours. So, but I do watch over them most of the time.
Yeah.
So, it's how the artist wants to run it. Yeah. So
I am so anti heavy regulations. Like sorry, I just am. There's always gonna be scratchers. There's always gonna be people doing bad work.
Yeah,
but you know, okay, yeah, sure. As for the aesthetics, I
say that only for
Yeah.
those surfing trainers because they'll have apprentices out here but
That's
live
a
in
huge
another state.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Because there's no set hours regulations in Nevada, it's legal and they're getting away with it. But then they're getting a lot of those students are the ones out there watching people.
Yikes.
And that's where I get to that. I'm like, it would be helpful if there was some kind of hours set in the 6 months that they had to be watched over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Even if it's like 6 hours of watching over and then the rest of the 6 months, you know what I mean?
100%.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
totally get that.
That's fine. I mean,
Understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah. There could always be a little bit. And to be honest with you, like not even just like the legal requirements, but morals of the trainers.
Morals.
Like, come on.
Sanitation.
Like, we don't want to put artists out there that are doing bad work. Like, for me
Yeah.
personally, I would never ask a student to leave me a review. I don't need them to be like, you know, praising me online. What I want from you is to put out good work.
Mm-hmm.
That's my good review. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, I want my students to do good
yeah,
work.
I've actually never made students give me reviews ever. Just clients. I'm like, can you?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah,
little
sure.
review?
I
Yeah.
saw it a lot when I was first trying to find, like, you know, continuing education of, like, these people, like, sticking cameras in their face.
Right.
How did you like it? And then
So I
heard
just started
these
doing
other
that
girls.
to clients, but only if they're like a model or if
Well,
they
not to
want to be
students,
filmed.
though.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
students. I've never
yeah.
done it to students.
Yeah.
I never even started asking for reviews in general until this year.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't mind asking for a review from a client. Yeah.
No, I never. It's not that I minded. I just never.
It feels
thought-
weird.
No, I never even thought to build up a Google or like to build up my reviews
Yeah.
until my
I love
6.5
Google.
years later. Now
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, maybe like I'll start asking clients for reviews.
Yeah.
And they've been leaving great reviews. So
Yeah.
I'm like,
I'm a
why
big
didn't
Google
I do
review
this 6 years
big fan.
ago?
Yeah.
So I should have.
Yeah.
And I just started.
Yeah.
So it's almost like on Google, I probably look like a new artist. But I'm really not new.
I wouldn't say. I think I looked you up on Google just to find your address when I came to you. But
Really?
yeah, looked very legit. Big fan. Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like my Google's so meh. But it's beginning. It's the Google's, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll ask a client for a good review, but like students, it just feels kind of like funny because also it's not just like you end the training and then that's it. Like it's like a kind of a long-term relationship, you know? So that's what I
you're
prefer.
in a long term with us. Just
Yeah, you got me
Just
forever.
know.
Was it my turn or your turn?
I think mine, it's
Okay.
what's our favorite procedure? I think we already said it like a
Brows.
million times.
And I also do like doing areolas, the heart-shaped ones.
Yeah, you're so
I
good
love
at
the little heart-shaped
areolas.
ones. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Before I knew you, I would get asked for those a couple times. They
It's
already
so
got
scary.
them done.
Yeah.
but now I know.
When I first started doing it, I was like, this is the scariest thing I've ever
so
done.
cute, though.
Isn't it so cute?
Do you have yours?
I love it. No.
TMI?
I have, what's it called, a breast reduction. Okay. So I have the lollipop scar. You can't really see the scars anymore. But also after giving birth, things change. I don't need a massive heart over, so for me it wouldn't really
Did you get
work.
implants with them? Or?
No, I was kind of like thinking about it, but like, no, not yet.
Thinking about it?
Just kind of like playing around with the idea, but no, not yet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really recommend them. I feel like more
really?
people are taking them out.
I've heard that. Yeah.
I like not even PMU related, but
I love surgery.
I think small to big is more in style now.
That's what I did.
Yeah, and I love like it's great. I'm still big to small, so I'm old school body, but like I like new school body. I think breast implants are just too high maintenance. I wouldn't recommend. Yeah.
Well, so is
I've had them done twice already. When you opt in, you're gonna do them at least like 3 times in your life.
I think I've heard.
So it's just more
like that,
surgery and downtime.
It's the same thing with like BBLs. If you're not going to the gym, like you're gonna have to like maintain it somehow. So
right?
Yeah.
You're brave. I'm scared.
That wouldn't do it again.
Yeah, I hear that from everyone that does it. I hear that.
I had no idea what I was expecting.
Yeah.
Even on my post-op, I went to go see my surgeon, and just so he could make sure everything was okay. And I looked at him. I was like, "Why didn't you tell me?"
Oh no, I saw one of my friends like right after, and she, like, it was so scary. I was like, I think I could never. I don't know.
Never again.
I'm scared.
Yeah. Yeah. So I better. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep going to the gym because damn. All right.
Now you know our surgeries.
I'm one of those people, like, I'll always talk about it. Like, I don't
right.
care.
No, me too. Yeah. I love surgeries.
Yeah. Oh, this is the one. Okay, so new favorite pigments since we don't have Brow Daddy Permablend anymore. So for brows, what do you plan on using?
I mean, I still have a shit ton.
I know,
of
me
Brow
too.
Daddy.
But let's pretend like we don't.
So,
let's pretend like we don't. Who would you
maybe
maybe
I'm
explore?
not out yet. So, I mean, yeah, I always used Permablend.
I love Permablend.
So my rack right now is like 90% Brow Daddy, and I have like a little bit of Permablend's newer ones. So I don't know. I'm gonna be patiently waiting for DNA.
I know, me too. I'm excited. But you know what I have been using, and I used it yesterday. Like
Brovy,
again,
right?
Brovy.
Okay.
Amazing.
Okay.
Amazing.
For both techniques?
No, you cannot use it for microblading.
Okay.
Doesn't work.
So
just doesn't work.
Powder.
Yeah, powder and nano hair strokes
Okay.
is what I've been using it
and
for.
nano. Okay. So I might have to order some of that.
Amazing.
Because
the thing is with it that I found is that it is so much more pigmented. Oh. You got no room for mistakes. So I work even lighter than I usually do.
Okay.
I work just nice and slow, very, very light, and it looks so beautiful. It heals so beautiful. But again, like, it's not necessarily great for beginners, so I still like to stick around with something a little bit less.
What would you train a beginner on?
I have been training my recent beginners. I used to give in like the Brow Daddy kit, which again, but the way that I train people is to work really light, so we're not digging it into the skin like that.
I've always trained on
Permablend, any form of Permablend. Yeah. So, and that's what I've been giving my recent students as well since the change in that. So
yeah, I'm gonna have to try Brovy.
You should. I'm a big fan.
Do you know who made it?
It's a Russian company.
Okay.
I purchased
Love
it.
that.
Yeah, everything's in Russian. I purchased it from Lauren. Now there's 2 Laurens that I am friends with on Facebook. So I think it's Lauren Taylor.
Okay. Oh, that sounds familiar. That name sounds familiar. I think finally a name I follow.
She's a trainer in Washington State.
Okay.
And she sells it, so I bought it from her website.
Okay.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm gonna try it. Do you have a favorite color yet? Or
yeah, bitter chocolate, beautiful.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Ripe wheat.
Is it like Hershey?
Great. Yeah, it's like a very
bitter
warm,
chocolate?
like dark toned chocolate. Big fan.
What's the other one?
Ripe wheat.
Is that like blonde?
It's so the way that the ink looks for me too, even when I swatch it, looks so different than when it's in the skin. And I had that experience even when I was using, it's obviously, it's always gonna be darker in the cup. But even when I swatch it, it's like a little bit different.
What do you swatch it on?
Paper.
Really?
Yeah. Or like a water wipe too.
Yeah,
really
water wipe. That's what I do. Water wipe.
Mm-hmm. But especially when I was using like iHeart ink too, the colors, like I would look at the color map and it would be like, oh, use, this like a dark brown for like this dark of hair or something like that. But when I would use dark brown, because I work so light, it would look way lighter. So I kind of just like do my own, like figure it out for each specific client, I guess. Yeah. But the colors end up looking a little bit lighter, a little bit less opaque because I work
you work really soft. Yeah.
super light. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. I'm going to try that.
Give it a go. I'm a big fan. Yeah.
Yay. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
What would we currently be doing if we weren't doing PMU? That's a hard one. Because, like, ew, I don't want to do anything else.
I really don't want to. I'd probably be tattooing. Yeah.
Like a body artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that or something more medical.
Yeah.
You know, I was like on track to do like more of like the medical assisting. I was working at a couple plastics offices in Seattle. So like that was where I was at before I started full blown going into permanent makeup. And yeah, I love a good plastic surgery office.
Right. Who doesn't?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, probably maybe like more so on that side.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me, I'd say before I was taking PMU seriously, I was thinking about going to nursing to do labor delivery just because I love babies and I can handle that kind of job. But I never did. I'm happy I chose PMU. Future goal, like let's say if I drop PMU today, which isn't going to happen, I would probably go for RN, but for lips, I would do filler.
100%.
Just because every day I get asked, who does your lips? And I feel like if I did lips, I would be so meticulous and I would be booked till I die.
Yeah.
So I have literally went back and forth about should I do 3-4 years and just do blush and filler or not.
Can you imagine?
I could, but it's just all that schooling and the
I'm with you. I can't do
in debt for just like, you know, like, but it's always an option. It's never too late. You're never too old to do whatever. So yeah, those previous goals, maybe future goals, who knows? Yeah, those two things. When I was little, I wanted to be a professional musician, but that never happened. I wanted to play the cello. I used to.
Oh, really?
I used to play the cello. That's why I have F-holes.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So, but
Cute.
yeah.
Big
But
fan.
PMU, I love it. And
I never thought that I would do permanent makeup because
I didn't
when
either.
people brought it up to me that we were all going to go take the class, I was like, permanent makeup? You mean like the
Right.
blue thin line eyebrows?
Yeah.
Ew. And then I saw like, obviously it's not the same.
How I got in it was I was messaged by an artist and she was like, will you be my model? And I was like, actually, I already have them tattooed, so no, but can I learn?
Yeah.
So it's like someone came at me, but then I was like, hey, I want to learn actually. So I kind of fished, you know. So that was my
That's
first
great.
class. But she was a beginner at the time too. So it was a lot of trial and error. Yeah.
Sure. All right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
Is it my turn? All right. How to run your business? I feel like we covered a lot of these. Something that you wish you knew before your permanent makeup journey.
Oof. Something I wish I knew.
Yeah. Before you ever took your first client.
It's okay to suck. Like,
Yeah.
don't be so hard on yourself because we all sucked in the beginning. I had to fix like my whole first 6 months to a year of my first clients because they were microblading. It mostly fell out. I was a
Good.
really light-handed artist, and I
Good.
still am. My work might look very saturated, but I am still really light. I have another question here, how many passes I do, and I only do like 3 passes on my lips and brows.
It depends on the client,
on the
too.
skin, though.
Yeah.
Like more melanated skin, it's probably gonna be a bigger needle and an extra pass or 2. So yeah.
Yeah. Something I wish I knew before I started taking clients. Who not to take.
Oh yeah.
That it is okay to fire a client.
Yeah.
You don't need to be tortured by them for years.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. My first year, I was way too nice.
Yeah, and as you start
nice.
to gain experience, you'll start to be able to pick up on red flags of clients that you will want to turn away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something else that I recommend too is like, I guess more so of like the marketing, essentially kind of idea of it where people are like, well, you know, I really want people to book. But it does go hand in hand with this because, you know, knowing who to turn away, you're not going to take everybody. Oh my God, I just completely forgot. We'll crop that part out. I just completely forgot what I was going to say. Dang it. I was trying to merge those two together. I had a really good, we'll move on. Here's one that I have, but we'll see which ones we want to ask. How to resolve an unhappy client experience.
You can, let's just do
All
that.
right. How to resolve an unhappy client experience. It depends on the
It
experience.
really depends on the experience.
Okay, let's say the client is unhappy with how they healed. They're not 100% symmetrical, and it was her first session.
Oh, then I will just retouch it for free. I'm not
Really?
Yeah, if it's driving them nuts. But if it's something that I see is still symmetrical to me, I'm like, like if it has to be like a big on my half, and it just doesn't.
Correct,
That doesn't
yeah.
really happen anymore. So usually, like in my policies, no free retouches like whatsoever. But if it's just someone that like paid me and tipped me and had a great experience, but then 2 months later it's just like for some reason my right brow really bugs me. Like, okay, like come in, it's been 8 weeks, I'll tweak it. It takes me 2 minutes.
100%.
But if, let's say, I recently had someone like, I did her first session and she didn't heal that well, but she didn't follow my aftercare. And I saw that on social media. Yeah. And I nicely did her retouch. She still paid. I did her retouch, but she then followed my aftercare second session. Then 2 months later, she wants a third session now because the first session didn't stick.
You essentially had to start from scratch for the second session.
The thing is, it not sticking doesn't exist because it's a tattoo. There is tattoo in your skin. Things might heal lighter because you didn't follow aftercare. And so the third session now she was booked in, and then she wanted to move it 3 times, and then I blacklisted her as a client.
It's a lot of times to reschedule.
Yeah, so it depends on the situation and the circumstance. If you're going to walk all over my policies, you'll be blacklisted.
Yeah.
If you're a great client and something's very much bugging you, I will adjust it. So it depends.
We'll work with you. If you're a nice client, you
Nice
ask
angel?
nicely.
You're angel.
Yeah, of course. And it's okay to be frustrated too, because
Yeah.
you paid this amount of money. If you're not happy with the way that something heals, that's totally expected.
Yeah.
But I always like to make sure that people know ahead of time, like it is a 2-step process. Like any minor changes we can absolutely make. Let's say I have a client come back, and again, this is very rare, and there's like nothing there. I'm going to do your touch-up complimentary. Yeah. But typically I'll have to like see it in person. A lot of times people will be like, oh my God, my brows didn't heal like at all. There's nothing there. And then they come in for their touch-up, and I look and I brush the hairs down, and there's it's all in there. It's smaller, it's lighter, and it healed exactly how it was supposed to. But that's kind of why I like to go over the expectations with them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll talk about a recent experience with this client. A client came in, and she's been seeing me for years. And she ended up calling her bank after she came in.
Oh, gosh.
And cause she wanted a free touch up before she was even healed. And I was like, you need to wait.
Yeah.
Doesn't email me back, just calls her bank, gets her money back.
From the first
From her last service was like a year touch up, which is like $300, which at the end of the day, like that's still, you can't do that. You're essentially stealing from me and my son. So I submitted all the paperwork to the bank and showed them like she was in here. Yeah. I have her on like video in my shop. Yeah. So got the money back with that, and blocked. Yeah. Forever. That is so rude. To come see me for years. Yeah. And to do that was like a little heartbreaking, but it just depends on the situation. Yeah. Yeah. So I think that's a great stopping point. And maybe we'll do this again in the future. We'll get some more questions up here. But thank you guys so much. Instagram is at supernaturalbrows. No underscore, nothing like that, just the 2 words. What's your Instagram?
Mine is at brow Engel, Engel. Follow us.